Hey folks, so I went out garage sailing this weekend, as I'm often do, and there wasn't a ton out there, which was a little disappointing. I thought about doing some traveling, but I am colossally lazy. Plus, I have a time limit because I have to open the store by 11 o'clock, so I get basically from whenever I hit my first ones till 10:30. And usually, you know what, honestly, most times after 10:30, stuff's been picked over. But again, I tend to ask, not just look at things, and sometimes it delivers, sometimes it doesn't. This time it did. Went out to a garage sale out by the lake around here, and Lake Erie, that is, and asked, hey, do you have any records? And they said, you know what, we do. We just moved here, and I remember moving a box. So went inside and looked and pulled out some things. 90% of it was in there was like big band and things like that. And the guy said, it's mostly my parents' stuff, but I think some of my old records are in there too, which was great because I came across what is considered by many a bit of a grail, especially for classic rock lovers. And it's not even the record, it's what came inside the record and is often missing. You'll see it at the end. You got to wait right till the end because it's at the bottom of the stack. So here we go. I love the Staple Singers, and if you're not into them, you really should school yourself. They performed at the Watts Stacks concert, and it is one of the highlights of that concert if you ever get a chance. I believe it's on YouTube. They were on the Stax label. It is basically, although they were from a gospel background and are very spiritual, they are funky. I mean, you can't beat the Staple Singers for funk. I mean, it is so good, and the voices are incredible. So that's just a, I don't know, single I picked up. Some more Staple Singers, and then that, I think those are from another garage sale, maybe. I can't remember. Anyways, but this is CCR, the small faces with the Ichiku Park hype sticker on the cover in the shrink. The sensational Alex Harvey band. These are all Canadian pressings. This is the Alexander's Timeless Booze Band. I'm not familiar with them. It's apparently sort of like folk psych. I'm actually looking forward to listening to that. So that was kind of a thing. And pretty hard to find apparently too. So that's kind of good. One of my favorite records of all time, Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra. This has a song on here, boop, 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 Some Velvet Morning, and it is, I mean, it's amazing. It's one of the weirdest songs you will hear from at least Nancy Sinatra on. Slow Dive did a cover of it back in the day. That's how I discovered it and went back and found the original, and they're both amazing. The Illusion, another sort of rock psych band. It's Canadian pressing on quality. Cat, same kind of thing again. That one's Canadian on Dynagroove, which was RCA. Three Dog Night, the Staccatos, and the Guess Who, both early Canadian things. These are, from what I recall, it was the Guess Who right at the very start. I don't think... yeah, it's Randy Bachman, and I think most of the members, actually, I can't tell this one. Anyways, it's the Guess Who with the question mark at the end, not sort of the Guess Who you know later on, but it does have Randy Bachman in there, and the Staccatos were kind of like a garagey, not psychedelic, but definitely more sort of garage rock band. So it's kind of nice. Early recordings. I think it's just a collection of the singles that were released from both. I know there are Canadian like collectors right now losing their minds saying, how can you not know this stuff? This one's a great one. It's Frankie Lane and Buck Clayton, but it also has J.J. Johnson and Kai Winding on there, which is a great thing on Columbia. A Santana and Alice Cooper. It's not the thumb cover, nor for those of you who do or don't know. There is a cover out there. The first version of this came where Alice was sticking his finger through the fly, so it looked like a wiener. And everybody at the record label went, we can't have wieners on our covers. And so they airbrushed it out in later ones, later pressings of it. Another Three Dog Night, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I guess whose share of the land. The Imperials, this was just, I was like, I don't know what this is, so I'm going to buy it. It's like Christian rock. Haven't heard it yet. Some Christian psych rock is amazing, like really amazing. And this one's pretty cool too, because it's got the original shrink and the original price tag on there. It's the Chipmunks sing the Beatles. You know, it's fun, funny stuff. Now this is it. You're saying, well, what's so graily about this? I've got this. I come across this record all the time. I've had literally hundreds of copies of it. Usually the cover is destroyed. This one is like super in pretty good shape. It hasn't had its legs popped out even and set up, which for those of you know, this pops out and can stand up to look like a school desk. But what's really special about this, and it is almost always missing. In fact, this is the second time only that I've come across with what's inside. And that is that. Yeah, so the first pressings of this came with panties. It just sounds weird saying panties. And they were pink, white, blue, and I believe yellow. And this still has them. They didn't last. They're very thin. They fall apart really easily. And often, you know, people just got rid of them because they were a bit of a nuisance around the record itself. But super hard to find. And every Alice Cooper collector wants one with these. There were even some versions of this that came with a report card. Those were promo pressings, and they had a little report. Those are even, if you have the report card and the panties, that, I mean, name your price. People are looking for those. The panties sell online anywhere, you know, you can see between, I don't know, like $75 up to $200-300, but the condition has to be immaculate. The record on this, not the best. The cover is actually great, and again, to have the panties on there, definitely worthwhile picking up. So that was, you know, for me, a really nice score, because you just don't find that stuff at garage sales usually. Inserts are always the key to vintage pressings, because they're almost always missing. Just, you rarely find them together unless it's with somebody who really took care of their collection, and you know, those are few and far between. The only other thing I picked up was this early penknife. It's kind of perloid or it might be celluloid. I haven't actually looked into it. On the back, you come across these all these times, these white little pen knives, and sometimes they have advertising and sometimes they're just blank, and this one has Coca-Cola, and it's early, it's Coca-Cola 5 cents, but what makes this one a little bit special is at all fountains. I have seen lots of different versions of this, but I've never seen it with the fountain being mentioned on there. So that, I got to do a bit more research. Usually just the standard Coca-Cola in bottles is, you know, or just mention of Coca-Cola, usually about $10 to $25, not a great deal. But this one with the fountain mention, I, again, haven't come across it so often, so I got to do a little bit more research. Could be worth a bit more, you just never know, but at its least, it's worth $25. And the guy said, well, I said, how much for this? And he said, make me an offer, and I offered $5, and he said, okay, and that's what we agreed upon. So, yeah, the stack of records, I think we settled on like $50-60, which isn't really a lot. You know, they said that's the price they wanted. So I just went for it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I didn't actually see the panties inside. It was only until as I was taking them out to the car that the record slid a bit. And because sometimes when records are cheap enough, I don't check condition, which is stupid. I know, you always should. If you're paying a lot of money, take the time. If you're not, if it's only a couple of bucks a record, I just didn't bother. Plus, some of the titles in here looked really interesting for me anyways. And yeah, once I got there, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I got a heck of a deal on those. Probably should have offered them more, but again, at the time, I didn't know. But still, great deal, rare piece. And I'll show you one more time, just said, woo, panties. Anyways, if you guys happen to like this kind of thing, records, not so much panties. That's, I'm sure, a whole other channel. Please feel free to subscribe or like, or, you know, you don't have to, whatever. If your friends are into this, if you could recommend my stuff, that would be cool too. I hope you all are having a good day, and I wish you all the best of luck in future garage selling. All right, bye.